What's up guys, Chris here from Vo-Gus Prospecting. If you're new to the channel, a big warm welcome, and if you're an old moldy hat like I'm not wearing at the moment, welcome back. Today we're sluicing out two lots of concentrates. The first one is an ore crush that we took out from the Wombat mine in my last episode. You can watch that up above. And the second one is something I like to call the mystery bucket. The mystery bucket is every single concentrate from test pans that I've taken in the last 6 months. I know there's some good gold in there, but I have no idea how much. Basically what I do is I take my snuffer bottle home and I tip it into a pan. And this is our crushed ore from the working face of the Wombat mine that we showed you in that last episode. I'm going to run this stuff second because it's likely to silt up all of my recirculated water. Our first stage is to classify it, and we're going to use our deep fryer. This is all we were left with in the deep fryer, and we're just having a quick scan over to make sure there's no little nuggets in there. I will give this a pan though, so we can recover the lead. That's all the lead I feel. We've got heaps and heaps of bullets and just bits of junk. Look at that. What was that big sinker going? Now that I've got all the plus size material taken out of the concentrates, we're going to reduce it further to kitchen strainer size. And to help us do that, I've got this shovel from Matty Han. Matt 3D printed me a brand new scoop after he saw my last cleanup video where I broke my other one. So with a little bit of luck, this one will last a little bit longer. We now have our three sizes: plus deep fryer, minus deep fryer, and minus kitchen strainer. We know there's no gold in this, just a lot of lead. Is there any gold in this? Yep, no, look. We've got one bit. Check that out. Actually, where did I put it? I might just see how much magnetic material we got hiding in there. Ow! That's a cactus! Oh! Well, that's a good start. With a little bit of luck, we'll have more than just that one nice picker. I can already see a heap of lead in there. There's that nice picker coming out right on top there. I think I see it. Is that a specimen or the same picker? I don't know. Have to have a look. Oh, there's another one. Look at that. Alright. This is why reduction of material is so important. This is mostly lead and non-magnetic ironstone. And we recovered these bits of gold here. Now that is a nice flat flake. We also got a nice little round picker, and we also pulled out some mustard gold, which is probably just stuff that was stuck to some of these rocks. Gold like this is going to have absolutely no issue in a sluice box or a pan fighting against stuff like that. However, that itty bitty mustard gold that's sitting just there, that stuff is going to have a real hard time in finding its place in a riffle when it's got to compete with dense black material like this. We know that most of our gold is going to be in this material here, so we're going to take this 1 teaspoon at a time and run it through the gold rat recovery system. A lot of people have been questioning too why I use the gold rat mat in a gold hog sluice box. It's simply because of quantity. If I had a couple of buckets of concentrates to go through, I'd definitely be switching to the gold hog just because it can push through more. At this time, I've only got a little gold rat sluice, so doing a pan's worth of material, no issue at all. And I've got the production boys over there manning me solar panel. to make sure that we don't run out of juice for the sluice. That's right, I'm a regular Dr. Seuss. I'm now about halfway through the concentrates and we're starting to see some gold. This is what the mat's looking like after about half the pan's worth, which is not too bad at all. I'm quite happy with it, although I made one little mistake. To get maximum efficiency out of these mats, not only do you have to reduce the amount of competing heavies that the gold has to fight with, but you also have to remove the air bubbles from the cell pockets with a toothbrush or similar. Otherwise, the gold won't collect in there. I forgot to do that. I had to go through after it already started and remove those air bubbles. So we had a bit of gold migration. I very rarely see bits of gold down in the V-riffle at the very bottom of this mini cleanup sluice, so that's a very good indication of just how much effect those bubbles had on my recovery. Nonetheless, the gold is looking good. We're down to just this in the pan, and that is not very much concentrate at all, and you're going to have a hard time picking that up with a spoon. Unlikely that you're going to be able to use a shovel to pick gold off the bottom of the creek because of all the little nooks and crannies, and the same thing happens in a gold pan, so I'm going to use a snuffer bottle to suck that up. Look at that. Some nice fine gold. And look at that, we've got a couple of very full cells up at the top, and then as we go down we see a lot of gold migration, like way more gold migration than I'd like to see. The old cleaning stick. In this pan is 6 months worth of test panning. Now I have to reiterate this is not sluice runs, this is not working deposits, this is going out for a couple of hours with a pan, maybe doing 10, 15, 20 pans, maybe getting 30 to 100 specks of gold just to see where the gold's lying, and this is the end result. That is not too bad at all. Not too bad for just having a look. Plus we've got what we had in the snuffer bottle, which add a considerable amount more to this. Look at that. That is some pretty looking stuff. And you can see what I mean. Most of it's very fine. And this is something very important that a lot of people don't do. No matter how many specks you get in a pan, you might get 1 nano dot. Don't throw it away. Just throw it in a bucket like I do. And at the end of the year, you'll probably have a decent amount of gold. Including all the little pickers and everything else. That's our end result. I'll get this cleaned up properly and wait for you at the end, but for now we're going to move on to the ore. We now have to clean this pan if we're going to move on to doing the ore crush. We have to make sure there is not a single skerrick of rock or gold left on this. This pan is looking pretty good now, and the reason you do this is if you had any kind of gold in here at all and you're only dealing with fine micro gold from your ore samples, it'll give you a false result. And the same thing goes for any processing equipment that you're going to use, like the cleanup sluice. I've got two different samples here. These two came out of the main face, and this bag here came out of a little offshoot vein. This offshoot vein, you can see that the old timers had bored it out in the wall, and we just basically chipped off some more of the bedrock and then found the vein again and took it from that. So we're going to process this first before we process these two. There's also no way you could run this stuff dry. You have to wet it. You have to. Otherwise it will just literally float out the end of the sluice and not catch any gold.
We've got that bag all run, and this is what the mat looks like. You can see lots of quartz in there. Not really that many heavies or oxides or anything else like that. The only significant heavy thing in there is a piece of dolly mill just sitting in the mat. We'll get this cleaned up and panned out. This is all we're left with after running that bag. I'm just going to run a magnet over it to pull out any parts of the dolly pot that broke off during crushing. That's why you do it, because that's a lot of steel from that dolly pot. Should make it a little bit easier to pan off. I'm not feeling like there's going to be much in here. It doesn't look right, but you never know. Ooh, lordy, I told a lie. There is a fair amount of fine gold in that. This was incredibly difficult to pan. This is not gold up the top there. That stuff there is mostly some other sort of heavy mineral. It does not want to move. And this is the gold just here. You can see several fine flakes.
Now that was from the offshoot vein, so the chances are if we go back, chip more of that host rock out and just follow that vein, we could hit some richer pockets.
Because our next sample is considerably bigger, it's about 4 times the size, we're actually just going to run it through the Gold Rat Mini 6 sluice first. Well, we turn that water into soup. It's always really sticky stuff when you start processing hard rock crush. Can't really see anything big or obvious sticking out.
You know when you stop working for like 2 minutes, do something else, and then you can't find your socket or your spanner or your screwdriver? I can't find my magnet. I just had my magnet. You saw me just use it. I don't know where it is.
I found it, and you're never ever going to guess where it was. I was like, oh, what if it just slipped in under here? A lot more concentrates, so we got a lot more magnetics. Steam mask.
Alright, I feel like this is actually probably a manageable amount of concentrates to go through without having to strip too much. We'll see. Anyway, let's just see if I can get it down. Oh! Oh damn, I was not expecting that. Oh, there's gold in here. There's like real gold in here. They're not nanodots. That is not a nanodot. That is a nice picker. That's straight out of that face too. Okay, this is a proper result. Now obviously I've got to get this cleaned up a lot better, but that's our goal. We've got those nice big chunks, which is always good to see, but the gold's almost always in fine stuff when it comes to milling. And if you check out that run of gold that we've got right at the top there, that is a good result for what was about 3/4 of a pan. If you got that every single time you did 3/4 of a pan, if you're panning in an alluvial stream, you'd be really happy. Right before I show you the gold all the way up, I want to invite you over to my Facebook page. I'm a hell of a lot more active on my Facebook than I am here on YouTube, and you'll see exclusive content including photos, videos, and articles all explaining on how you can improve your gold takes out in the field. The link for that is in the description below, but now we better get to the weigh-in.
That's to be one of the most fun and exciting things to do. Steel container and play with your gold. This is the gold we got for the test pan bucket next to a fresh guitars pick for a bit of scale. Without further ado, we're going to get this on the scale. The first thing I want to do is just see if this little flat picker has any weight to it. 0.05, 0.04. It's going down, it's losing weight, must be on a diet. And now for it all together.
1 gram on the dot. 1 gram at today's gold price is about 85 Australian dollars, which is pretty good considering this was just the results from my test panning. So at the end of the day, throw my snuffle bottle in a bucket and not look at it for 6 months. And sometimes I put 10 or 15 specks in there, and sometimes I put shrinking pickers in there. Either way, I'm not going to turn my nose up at 80 bucks, but what I really want to know is how rich this ore was. This is the gold we recovered from our ore crush, and it doesn't look like very much, but we also didn't have a very large sample, so we're going to try and get a weight off it. And if we can get a weight, that means we'll be able to work out the per tonnage. Well, there you have it. It was too fine to weigh on my 2 decimal point scales. In total, I've run roughly 2.5 litres worth of crushed ore. It's not a very big sample size, but it also points towards why they left this mine and didn't continue working it. Clearly there's gold there, but it's quite dispersed through the rock. When you compare that to other videos that I've made on the Dabs reef crushers, where I'm pulling out 0.6 to 1 gram worth of gold in a fist-sized rock, you can see the disparity between how rich ore reacts and how poor ore reacts to the scales. This mine may be worth chasing if we can get in there and take a larger sample size and see if there's any variation in how rich it is. But for now, we're probably going to leave it alone. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you like this one, chances are you're going to like a lot of the other content I have up on my page. Hitting the subscribe and bell button in the bottom corner is a great way to make sure you don't miss out on any of my future content or giveaways. And if you like that smash button, then give this video a share with your family and friends. I'll give Grizzly a big hug directly from you, from me, to him. So until next time, make sure you give your dog a scratch behind the ears for me. Peace! And I'm out!